Yeah, I'm recording this. Um, in the Canvas login, so there is some independent study also where you have to prepare some documentation, and you need to share that things to me on Google Drive. Okay, if you go to the pages, there are a lot of independent study things. So, so you know what is Salesforce and CRM, and you know what options are available in Salesforce, what we can do with Salesforce, and it's the time for you, okay, to prepare independent documentation. Means you can create your own documentation by searching the Salesforce by searching Salesforce documents and prepare your own documentation. Simple. Uh, Create some notes for yourself, which is helpful for you to take the interviews also. Okay. If you expand independent study, so there are some orderly way. You have to learn about loops, conditional statements, and collections, how to use them. You have to prepare your own documentation. Please share it to me. I'm going to review that. See, if I click on 24th, I want you guys to use the Canvas tool. I can also check who is logging in, how much time they are spending it on the tool, and see independent study. So you have to work on this. Okay. Documents must be uploaded to the consultant drive. I will create that drive today. Okay. So it will each independent work will take at least 6 hours. Okay, you have to spend at least 6 hours on each and every independent topics what you guys have to work. And apart from that, my classes will be will be explaining you some of the examples. And today in today's class, I want you guys to take some of the means I want you guys to create some group login for Gmail, so you guys can share the same username and password. I will be sharing you some enterprise login access to you guys. You can download the examples from that org. Okay, this independent work you have to spend at least 6 hours. So there are around six to seven independent work items from 24 to 29. So just try all this stuff. So when you are free, I want you guys to work on these examples. So you know what is Salesforce and what is VFP, just what is Apex. So from now on, you will be closely working on the development part, not on the configuration part. If anything is remaining, yes, you guys can try that configuration part also. Okay, in today's class, let's move on to examples. I will log into Salesforce edition. Yeah, and as I'm sharing that, I will be sharing some org to you. This is the org which I'm going to share. You will see developing ICC version 1. So if you go to the setup, it's already in setup, but still I'm clicking on setup. So you can see if you go to develop, you can see a lot of examples, and some of the examples are modified by my participants as I have shared this login access to all the people. Some of the examples are not good, and there are some good examples also. You can try that code by clicking on classes. You can see the classes and pages. There are a lot of documentation. There are a lot of pages here. Okay, yeah, around 331,850 lines of code. Okay, and okay. So can someone create the Google Gmail login to me for so that you guys can post the username and password of that in this chat, so that I will create the user license in the current class as a Salesforce administrator. With that, you can access all the code. Okay. I want okay, Sridhar, can you do that? Shankar, yeah, please go ahead. Please create the login of Gmail and share it with me. I'm going to create the class. There are a lot of account wrapper classes, pagination classes, action script, action class, and all the examples which I'm teaching you in the class. You can also see it here. I will load some more examples in this org so that you guys can access that also. Okay. Yeah. Please do that. Yeah. Can you do it now?
Venkat, you want both us to create or just one? Venkat, can you hear me?
Just one, Sridhar.
Okay.
In today's class, I will be explaining about the save as PDF options. In the account object, there is a option. If you click on that button, you're going to see the complete account details in a PDF format. Okay, right? So, for suppose if I'm going to ERM customer page, it's a account detail. So I'm going to show the ERM customer account information in a PDF format. For suppose if I want to take a printout about that customer, and when I'm traveling and if I want to know more about that account, I'll take a printout and I will study whenever I will look into that account whenever I'm free. If that is a requirement, I'm going to click on show PDF. It's opening a new page. I will explain you how you are linking the button with this page. See, this is the static logo which I'm trying to print. This is the account information which I'm trying to show. The important details what I want to show here, I'm going to create that. If I click on print, it will print. This document can be printed and you can use that. Yeah. And I got the access for the Gmail. I'll create the login. Okay. So you guys can use the study salesforce1 at gmail.com and salesforce1 Gmail account. Copy this username and password and copy in some notepad. I'll also do that. Okay. This is the Gmail account. Okay, awesome. You copy this username and password on the chart, open the chart, okay, and use that. Let's create the user first. I will explain the page after creating the user. Closing this, and I'm going back to the setup in the new tab. I'm going to click on manage users. What I'm doing, I'm creating a new user license. So for suppose if a project is going on, I want to hire a new developer to manage to create some new modules or to uh, do some new developments in my sandbox. What I will do, I'll create a new user. So what license I will give? I will share Salesforce license and give the profile name as standard administrator. Sorry, Salesforce standard administrator. Okay, standard admin. Sorry, system administrator. I will give the profile name as system administrator. This person will be having a lot of access. He can create VF pages. He can manage applications, and there are some more options which are not even enabled for system admin also, like some of the options I already showed you of the profiles. If I click on users, when I'm trying to create a new user, I cannot create the Salesforce license now. Why? Because it's not showing here. What is the reason? There are only 20 licenses in my organization. That was burnt, means I already used all that licenses for other users. What I will do, I'm going to users page. To create a new user, I have to go to the users and deactivate one other user. All these are active users. I am clicking on admin users. So I can see all the admin users here. All these people are having system administrator license. Sorry, profile name. So for suppose, so this, I want to disable the license for this, and I want to enable, create a new user for you guys. Okay. Sometimes I cannot disable this profile user licenses. I can't disable the users because if there are some active workflow rules or some active emailing things linked with this user, I cannot disable that. Before deactivating the user, I have to change all that options, the workflow rules linked with this guy, the email alerts, all that stuff. default email sending user. Okay, so I'm setting default send as workflow rule like Sai. If I'm doing the like that, I cannot deactivate the user. Anyway, you cannot see the delete button on the user object in Salesforce because it's the option Salesforce is not providing. You cannot delete the users, but you can only deactivate the users. If there are 5,000 employees in your organization, if you have fired 2,000 employees in some like 2009 or like that, you are not going to delete the users. You will deactivate the user so that they cannot log into the CRM application after deactivating the user. Okay. And if a new employee joins, I'll get a new user by clicking on new user. If I want to add multiple users at the same time, I'll click on add multiple users. You know that, okay? Let's do one thing. I'll click on edit. I'll deactivate the Sai user. Let's see. Let's try that. See, deactivating user removes from all the delegated groups also and sharing privileges. Okay, so you have to know about this and you have to prepare some documentation if possible. You can even copy all this stuff, important options, what happens when I'm deactivating the user, so that someone might ask this like interview question also. The following page prompts you to remove this user from many teams, obviously. For suppose account team, case team, like the so there are a lot of teams in Salesforce. If I'm doing that, it obviously disables these users from the teams, remove the users from these teams. You can still transfer the users records to an active user. For suppose if there are 3 people team in Kansas region sales reps, if I want to fire one person from the team, what I will do, I'm not hiring a new person on the behalf of him. In that case, I will transfer all the records from this user Sai. Okay, name is Bogli Sai. Okay, I will remove I will transfer all the records from this user to the existing users. I will share the records. Okay. Or if a new person joins in the place of this person, I will transfer all the records to the new person who is joining after a week. Even though I deactivated the user, I can still do that. Okay. Click on OK. Click on save. It worked. It's processing. I'm removing user from these teams and I'm removing user from the case teams, account teams, case teams, and user from ad hoc case team also. Click on save. It's done. Now if I'm trying to get a new user, see what happens. I can see the Salesforce license now. Got it? Click on this. This is the top license of Salesforce, and I also shared you some of the important comparison sheets like for different licenses and different editions also. And let's create a new user. SFTC BAT batch 17. Alias also it automatically creates combination of first letter from first name and 4 letters from the last name, and email address also I can copy from the all this stuff I already explained you, but still I'm explaining as we are doing that. See, I'm creating the email. It automatically uses the same username. If this username is already present in the system, I can do one thing. I can put dot dev1 like that, dot org1 org2 like that, but not required in this scenario. No one, I think no one is using this, it seems. Study Salesforce 1. Okay, and I'll use the role as COO. A role I can give any role, okay, so that the records will be shared accordingly based on that role. And I can also assign some records also by roles. I can also assign some reports by roles. I can also assign dashboards by roles. All that stuff I can do. All that sharing will all apply, and that things will be shared to this guy. Okay, I'll use Salesforce license here. And I'll use the profile as system administrator. And there are 2 more profiles I created with the name SOAP administrator and SOAP administrator 2. These 2 profiles have more access than this. Why? Because as I said, even system administrator also have less access. Like means full access, but still there are some more options which are not activated for this guy. So I created some custom profiles with more permissions than system administrator with the name super administrator. I'm clicking on this and I'm clicking on save. See, I have these options enabled because Sai user have marketing user, knowledge user, and all this stuff, and sales service user also. That is the reason earlier when I'm trying to create the new user, I don't have these options enabled for them, but now I got all these options. Okay, if I am enabling this, you will get special options on marketing user. Like he can manage, he can import leads, he can import bulk campaigns. Okay,
Email ID is wrong.
hey, can I mute you guys? You have some question? Right. Okay. Knowledge user. If I am enabling this, some of the app features like knowledge application features will be enabled for this guy so that he can import knowledge articles, he can manage knowledge articles, he can create article types, he can create category groups, data category groups by regions, by international regions, by countries, by states also. Okay, based on that regions, I will share different knowledge articles to different countries in different languages also. A lot of stuff. Okay. I'm done with that, and let's click on save. The user record is getting created because I provided all the information required for creating a user. I'm clicking on reset password. So I think Shankar, you are now logged into the application. It seems in Gmail app. You can see the login. You set the same password what you have kept for Gmail. Okay. Do the same password. The username is same. I know that. Keep the same password for that. So you guys can use the same Gmail account for getting the security token. What is security token? I mean, so there's one new guy who joined this class. I'm trying to explain for him. So when you're trying to log in from different IP address or new IP addresses, it will send a 5-digit code to you. You have to add that. Okay. So why I'm using the group account is because I can't send email to all the different emails. That's the reason you use this group whenever you use this Gmail account whenever you're trying to log into the Gmail account as you're getting new 5-digit token, because you don't need to ask anyone like send me the 5-digit code like that. You can use the directly this Gmail account and you can log into Salesforce after copying the 5-digit code. Okay, let's move on to this page. I think you now have access to this organization, all the 4 people. You can use this. Okay, and let's move on to the account screen. Now I'll start the example on the account object. So when I'm clicking on this option, so what is this? This is a button. When I'm clicking on this option, I'm opening a new page, a new window. Okay, and I'm opening a page which is showing the document, a PDF document, and which I can print. Okay, I can use the company logo here. As I don't have, I mean, specifically as I'm using some demo org, I am showing the demo company name, some image which I have in my system, that is Syntony Smart Communications logo, and I am using my content, the account page. Currently, I am on the ERM customer, ERM. This is the customer name from here to here. The details I'm showing. Okay. For suppose if I am on the different account object, I'll show that information. Okay. How I'll explain you. First of all, this is a custom button. These are standard buttons. Okay. This is also a standard button only available on the account object to create customer portal user and partner portal user. Okay. And this is a button to quick edit. This is also some custom button. This operation, I think I can quickly modify some records in a new edit page. So this is edit page where I am seeing the edit buttons. I can modify some account side to, okay, and I will click on make it activate, and I even want to modify the customer name because there is a lot of ERMs. I want to remove all that stuff. Click on save. I got the new record. What happened? I modified the account object with the quick edit button. See, now the ERM customer. If I click on show PDF now, I can see the new, with the new account name, I can see the PDF. See the ERM customer, all that stuff. I even modified the account site also. Okay. I will explain these two examples now and how I add these buttons. First of all, these two pages are, if you click on quick edit, I can see the page name called account standard controller. See, Apex page name. You know this is the page name. Okay. Let's and if I modify this record, if I click on save button, it will changes. Okay. And I have disabled the header also and the sidebar also, and even disabled the charter, Salesforce charter, and I also disabled all the standard Salesforce styling also. It looks like a very custom page. I can apply some new colors to this page, and I can also show some new custom header also. It's again, it's my own interest or like customer requirement. Accordingly, I will build this page. This is a dummy page, again very simple page. Let's open this page from developer console. What is developer console? It's useful for developers to debug the code, to write new code, to access the current code also. Click on this. Okay, I'm not going to help you in this current class, not explaining the how to write the class, but I'll show the steps of creating the same example. Okay, if I'm trying to write the same example again, it will take again the complete class. It's very simple example. Okay, I'll close all these debug logs. There are a lot of pages which I open here on debug logs. I'm closing all that, and I'm closing this also. I don't want to save this. I have to save no. Close it. This is the fresh debug log. There is no logs also. And if I am clicking on file, open, click on open. To open a VF page or to open a class, to open a trigger, to open a VF components, to open S objects, shared objects, okay, custom objects, okay, to open static resources or JavaScript files from here. You can't access image files, okay, but you can access JavaScript files, CSS files from static resources directly. You can also access packages also. There are a few packages here. These are all the packages in the system. Let's say in the current scenario, I want to access the page. Click on page. What is the page name? Account standard controller. There is only one page. Here is the search bar to search your pages. I'm searching here called account standard controller, and I got the page. If I click on this, it will show the related variables what I'm using here, references. I'm double clicking on this to open the page in my developer console. This is a developer console. Okay, it opens a new window. It's like a online IDE. Eclipse is IDE. Okay, you can develop the applications easily. It's an open source IDE where every technology people can use that by adding a plugin. Okay, but this is the online IDE for Salesforce users, for especially for developers. They can directly write the code, access the current code. It's again, it supports offline, not offline. It generally supports the state. If you are doing some changes here and if you are closing this, even though if you are not saving that account standard controller page, still this will be available if I close this and if I open this also. See, for suppose I am writing something here, it's not saved. The star symbol will tell you that this page is not saved. It's a new code which I have written. I'm not saving this. I'm closing this. I'm opening the developer console again. Okay. Still, I can see the developer console. The developer console with the same code which I have written earlier. See, the same code is here. It's not saved still, but this generally saves even the store even the unsaved code also. Okay, the star symbol will tell you this is the new copy which is not saved. The old copy is also available in the back end. I can still open that in here one more time also. Okay. Anyway, I will click. I will remove this. You know this. These are global variables. I am getting the global information, the user's first name and last name. Okay. Later on, First of all, this is a page using account standard controller. That's the reason I have the attribute standard controller equal to account. And the label of the page is Venkat. I named this page label as Venkat, or I can save as account standard controller. I can also give some labels to the pages also. And I'm using sidebar equal to false. What is sidebar? Which is available on the left side. And I have disabled the chart also, the Salesforce charter chart. I disabled that. And I show header also, I made it false. Okay. With that, Salesforce, it won't look like a Salesforce standard page anyway. And later on, I'm using global information of to print the user data. The form tag I'm using because I'm going to use the input tags. If I'm using the input form tags, I have to use the form tag on top of all that tags. You know that. And I'm trying to print the error messages on the screen, any validation errors at this location, at the center of the page. Okay. If I'm not giving account name and if I'm trying to click on save, there's error saying account name is required to save the record. That information will be shown here at this location under command button, the center of the page, it will show that. Below that, there is a name field, site. These are all input fields. And I'm not using page block section, page block and all that stuff. That is the reason it's not aligned and it's not showing the Salesforce standard UI. I can, because if I'm using page block, it's a UI tag, it's a look and feel tag, which will automatically bring the Salesforce section colors, automatically align the fields in a proper format, in a section wise, in column layout. Okay, that all I'm not using because I haven't used it as a Salesforce page block thing. These are all the, as I am linking the account standard controller, I can access the account records. Means I can use the account input fields with account.name, account.site, account.type, phone, account number, number of contacts, and active button. If I'm clicking on this button, see that's what I'm showing here: account name, site, the other stuff, account number, and account number of contacts, and checkbox button. These are all the things. Save button. Okay. Right. So if I'm doing some changes, yes. I use the BR tag to properly format all this stuff. What is a BR tag? It's a new line tag so that all the content will be properly in a new line. And I also use the type. Oh my God, okay. And phone tag. Means I'm labeling these input fields because do you understand what is this field? You don't know what is that field. You know this is a site field. You don't know what is this field. This is a type field. Okay, if I'm using type field, input field, it automatically shows the pick list value. Okay, and I'm using account number also. I'm also using number of contacts. I'm using all input fields. Okay, and I'm using input checkbox to show the active checkbox on the field. Active. Okay, clicking on save. Now refresh this. See, after clicking on save, see what happened here. You're going to see the you're not going to see the star button here because it's saved. This is the fresh only copy in the system. Okay, if I click on refresh on this page now, you can see the new content accordingly. Okay, see the account page, account name, account site, type, phone, account number, number of contacts, and account active. And you can see all the fields are properly formatted in a new line because I use the BR tag. If I'm using two BR tags, it will be there's one more line gap between them. Okay, because if I'm using the page block section, it automatically aligns the thing with the proper BR tags and proper thing. Okay, But as I'm not using that, I have to do the things on my own. Okay. And I also name the things in a different colors also, with red color branding, background color, all that stuff. Okay. Let's apply that CSS properties now. Um, I will use a body tag body. Okay, the end tag is here. I'm copying it and I'm copying it again at the end of it, because if I'm starting the body tag before apex form, I have to end the body tag after form tag. Got it? That's what I'm doing here. I want to assign some properties. In the body tag, I have style, style. Inside that, or else I will use style class. This is called inline styling. bg-color equal to hash cf. Click on save. If I got any issues, yes, you can come back and we can save this. Click on refresh. I can also do the changes very quickly here also. This is online editor, right? I can do the, from now on I will do the changes here. If you are doing the changes here, it also applies very immediately here. Important in the CSS is helpful to keep this forcefully and make this on high priority. It means you are going to consider this on uh, means on you are going to override the other properties, okay, and using this new property for background color. Back. Yeah, this is the right thing. BG color is not supported here somehow. Yeah, background color is this, and I can also change it accordingly, like anything, because there is 6 color code, 3 color code, and I can, if I want to add new property after ending of this property, I want to add new property. Color is red. I can also use the property like this. I'm clicking on save. So now I'm seeing the red color content on the page. So if I want to apply this with the style class, yes, I can do that. I will copy all this stuff. Clicking on copy. I'm creating a new class name dot body CSS body CSS class. CSS class. Inside the curly brackets, you can write all the property. I am copying it. I'm clicking on. I'm removing the style tag now here. Obviously, it's not applied, and I'm clicking on save. Oh, I have to apply. I have to add this. I can create the style class only inside the style tag. style. In my developer console, it obviously creates. It automatically creates the end tag also for me. When you are creating the body tag, it automatically created the end tag also, right? Same way. But here I'm not getting that option. But for the apex tags, yes, it obviously creates the ending tags also. But for the HTML tags, I am unable to get the ending tags for HTML tags. Click on save now. Now this will not be shown here. See, it's gone because all the properties inside style tag will not be shown on the page. All the content, it will be considered as a CSS property, and I can use this now. This property at the body tag. You know how to use them. Style class is the class is the tag attribute for the body tag to apply a class to this. I am giving as BODYCSS okay. The naming conventions are really important when you are calling the things. Okay, so I'm giving the thing and I'm clicking on save. Now you can see the new properties. I created the for suppose if I want to apply the same properties in multiple tags, this is really helpful. One time I created this body class, I can use this class anywhere in this page a number of times. Okay, that will reduce the number of lines of code. If I am using this style tag and I am applying this property inside this body tag, I am going to create this style class everywhere which I need these properties again and again. That will obviously increase the number of lines of code also, right? Okay, so with this one class I can use multiple times. The simple 15 lines of code, yes, I'm applying the complete properties. Sometimes the classes will be too big. In that case, if I want to apply these properties, I don't need to copy the style all the properties with the inline CSS. Okay, inside the tag I cannot apply this. You can create a single class inside style tag and apply the class, create all the properties inside one class or multiple classes, and you can apply the classes in anywhere in the page. Okay, and I will show you some big page which I have developed on some project custom page which is around thousands of lines. It's too big, but you won't understand. But I will still show you how big is the classes you can create in Salesforce. Let's apply it. And you know the functionality of this. I think I still explained this type of functionality earlier also. Okay. And you know there is only one button called save. With the click on save, I am going to update the record very quickly because these are the important fields which I want to update very quickly. That's reason I use a quick update, quick edit button. On click of that, I am opening this page in the same page. And I go back. This is the account channel controller page. Sorry. This is the main page. When I click on this button, I am opening that new page in the same link. This is called this option. I can control the while creating the buttons. When I'm clicking on this page, on this button, I'm opening a new page in a new window, not in the same window. This is option I can control at the button also. I'll show that. Before explaining this, I'll show how to create these buttons and how to apply this stuff. Okay, I'm closing this. Where I can create the buttons on the object, on the account object. So if I am scrolling down, there is a quick access menu here. Click on this, click on view object. See, as account object, if I am opening, it's expandable thing. All the options are separated like this. But if I am opening a custom object, all the options are available in a single link. How is it? How is that? Okay, if I'm expanding create, if I click on objects, all the options, all the buttons, all the validation rules, all these things are in one page. See, automobile, if I'm clicking on this object, see, standard fields, custom fields, validation rules, page layouts, field sets, compact layouts, search layouts, buttons, record types, all these things are in one page. And for coming down to the standard things, even each and every option is a different page. If I'm clicking on fields, I can see only fields. It's easy to directly navigate. Okay, because these are standard fields, so there's only one option for you to directly query them and open it. If there are if there are hundreds of custom objects, it's really tough to expand all that stuff, and the setup option will become too big. That's the reason they have given a simple link and show all that options in a single page like this. See, all these options are available in a single page only for custom objects. Let's say if I want to create a buttons in account object, I'll click on buttons and links. If I want to create a button on the custom object, go to the button and links here. It's here, and I can create a new button here. New action or new button. Click on new button. What is new actions? Actions can be used from quick actions can be used. on the charter page also. And also from the Salesforce mobile layout, there's a plus button on the bottom. If you click on that, you can create a quick actions. You can create some records very quickly with the help of actions. And this is a button. Okay, I'm creating a button here, custom button. I can give some label like sample. I'm not going to create this button now because I don't have any page on this object. So display type. What is the display type? Do you want to display a link or a button or a list button? Okay. View the example. Click on this to see the example, because some people will want to show a link like this. Okay. See, this is my link. Okay. If you want to provide a link like that, if I click on that link, if I need to open a page, I can do like this. For suppose, I can also insert the location of a user with a custom link by putting my location. If I click on that link, I am going to open a new page and show the location of that user. That's one thing. What are buttons? Like this, I can also add buttons. View example. Buttons will be added on the bottom on top of the page. See, my button is the custom button which I added. Like this, you can see. Currently, I'm using the button tag for showing the PDF also. What is the list button? List button is option to for multi-record selection. I can use that. View example. For suppose, list button is like if I want to use merge contacts. Okay, I can select the multiple options and I can click on this. That operation will be performed on multiple records. Okay. If I want to add the contacts to the campaign, I can select multiple campaigns and multiple records in the contact list or leads, and I can click on add to campaign so that all the things will be added to the campaign. I can also do some custom actions like with my custom buttons. Okay, this is called list buttons. So I have to write the logic for that using some Apex code to change the code, to change the values, or to add the items to the current campaign like that. Okay, I think add to current campaign is already available, but custom logic I have to write on my own. Okay, and this is the creation. You can choose any option whichever you want, but in this current scenario I am using this option for showing a PDF. And here is the behavior. What should happen? Display in the existing video. Okay, this is the one which I am talking about. Display in the new window. This is the one which I am using for PDF. This is the one which I am using for account channel controller. When I'm clicking on edit, quick edit, display. See, there is some other option here. Display in existing window with sidebar, without sidebar, and header. I might be using this third option so that I don't have header and sidebar, and I'm directly printing the page in the existing window. For quick edit button, I'm using this last option, and I can also execute some JavaScript to do some logic stuff. Okay, by using this. Okay, that JavaScript might call some new pages also. That JavaScript might show some alert message also on the screen. That's fine, and I can also use some merge fields here to do that. I can do one thing. What is the content source? If I'm clicking on a link, what should happen? Whether I should open a URL, outside URL, or whether I should run some JavaScript, or whether I can open a VF page or not. This option I can click on here. In my current two requirements, I am trying to open a VF page. One is for editing the account record with the account standard controller page. The other thing is showing the PDF of the account. I use the third option. Most of the times use this option. But if I want to run some JavaScript code, I can use this. It opens option to write JavaScript. And I can also create some custom URLs and links also here in the formula field by using the merge fields. I can pass some parameters with the URL, okay, the name instance, okay, the stuff. I'm not going to create it because I don't have any pages or links on this custom object. Okay, there is no VF page also. I'm clicking on cancel, but if I go to the account page, I will show you the button which I created, that is show PDF. Click on edit. This is linked with the show PDF page. Okay, sorry, this is linked with, I will show that to you. Click on this. The show PDF is a button displays in the new window, and the height is also, I can fix it 600 pixels. I can control, I can open a small window, bigger window, like that according to a requirement. I can resizable. If I am unchecking this option, he cannot resize also. Currently, if it is checked, I can resize it. I can minimize the window. I can decrease the size of the window, like that. And show scroll bar also I can control. All these options I can control on the window which I'm opening, new window. Okay. And display page button. This is the button because not the link. Okay. These are the window properties. Okay. If I want to edit the button, I can still edit it at any point of time. See, display button, display in the new window, VF page, linking to the account info underscore PDF page. This is the page name which I am linking with. Okay. There are a lot of pages on the account object. This page is helping you to show the PDF format, and I will explain that page now. I'm clicking on save. Let's go back to this page, account PDF. Okay. Let's go to the editor. Okay. And click on file, click on open. I'm going to click on PDF thing, PDF. There's only one page with the PDF format. Okay, why is that not showing? Then you have to set to the channel related. It should show star PDF. Yeah, because I have to use star for showing all the things. Okay, this is some filter. Use. I'm clicking on this account info PDF. This is the VF page built with standard controller account page. Because I'm using one account object, I have to use the account standard controller only, because I am trying to show the account information on the page. Okay, and in this page I'll explain the code. I'm not going to write the code on hand. Okay, which will again take a lot of time. Okay, it's again simple. I'm trying to explain the code in the same order on which I'm going to write. Okay, if I'm trying to create the page, I will create this in the same order only. Okay, I'll create in the same order in what way I am explaining in the current class. Okay, so when you start with the page, I will create a simple page tag, and I am linking with the standard controller, because it's the requirement is to show the account details in a PDF format. In this scenario, you don't need to create the custom controller. You can use the standard controller. You can use the output tags to show the content, and you can also disable the sidebar and header. That options all can be done with the standard controller. You don't need to write your custom code for that, Apex class for that. So before starting the requirement, you have to think in what way this can be built with a VF, only with VF page with standard controller, or with VF page with standard controller plus controller extension. When you are going to use the second option, when the requirement is 70% closer to the standard requirement, standard options, standard logic, 30% of custom logic, you're going to use the account. You're going to use the VF page with standard controller with controller extension class. I can also use extension variable like this. See, I will show that to you. Extensions means I am going to extend some of the logic with the new Apex class that will help to design the custom logic, the 30% extra logic what I am talking about in the requirement. Okay, I can link the class name, Apex class name, same way how I am linking with the controller. Okay, this is a page I have to input the page extension class, the custom logic which I'm representing in a new Apex class. Okay, that's the simpler way to build the page. When you have some percent of standard requirement and some percent of custom requirement. Okay. For suppose if your requirement is completely custom, where you have to show a lot of objects data on the same screen, in that case you are going to use the custom controller example. Apex page custom controller equal to some new class what you are going to create, and you are going to link that class here. And in this requirement, I am disabling the sidebar and show chart, show header. Oh, I made this true, but still I cannot see this thing because I am showing it in the format of PDF. Because PDF format will not allow to show the header also on sidebar, because that's a standard Salesforce thing. It won't show that. Okay, and let's see. I'm going to the end of the page. Oh, this page to be okay. The important thing in this current page is this attribute. I'll explain that. I'll show the difference. What happens if if I am disabling the rendered as equal to PDF. If I am giving rendered as equal to PDF, it converts the complete page into the PDF format. See, if I am removing this button, the complete page will looks like an account standard page only. See, I am clicking on Control X, clicking on Save, clicking on Save. It's saved. Go back to your uh, go back to your page. Now go back to the account object. Click on Show PDF. It opens a new window. It will happen in the same way, but it won't show the PDF format, and it shows the account page, which looks like this, where the header is true, sidebar is true. This is the output. With output labels, I am building this page. The same content I am trying to show in the PDF format in a very custom way with rendered as PDF. That's the easy way to build the PDF files from Salesforce. When you are trying to build the offer letter, I can get a new object called offer under candidate, under interview, related with candidate and interview. I can get an offer letter very simply with the package details in the offer. In the offer, I can link the candidate information. I can link to the position which I am going to send this offer letter. Means I will, if I'm hiring them like a program manager or like Salesforce developer, I will give the position details in the job application, right? That same thing will be copied into the offer letter. I can dynamically generate the offer letter with the custom with the candidate details and job application details and the salary information I'm going to store in the offer anyway. That information also I'm going to show dynamically in the offer letter, and I can send this as a PDF to the candidate email address automatically with your email outbound emails. Okay, by writing some trigger on that. After creating the offer record, I am going to use some outbound email class, and I'm going to send that data to the candidate's email address, so that you are reducing the lot of time of the recruiters, where the system is only creating the offer letters and sending it. If a So it takes obviously a lot of time to create a custom offer letter by writing all the code like static text and putting their names, putting the amount for which position they are applying for. It takes obviously half day to do that. But with this option, simply creating the offer record in the system, you automatically throw an email by attaching some PDF file to the email and send to the candidate. That's how you can build application with Salesforce, some recruiting app like that. I already built that, and I'm trying to I have examples of that also in my system. Um, I can show you the examples to you guys. You guys can try. But before that, we have to build all the data model for offer object, job applications, candidate, all that stuff. Otherwise, you cannot use that code. Okay. I can't explain that code in the classes, but I did explain in my old classes. But I can share that recordings to you. Okay. Now let's say I will change the page back again to. I'm copying the page, the code. Okay. I'm clicking on save. Now you can see the page in a. I'm dynamically modifying the code in my new window only that shows here. Again, for the end users, you are not going to see this screen, because this screen is only visible for the system administrators who have option to other Apex and who have option to okay enable the development mode. Even though they have other Apex means they can write Apex code. Even though they have other Apex setting, they cannot see this thing. They can only see this option only when the development mode is enabled in their user record. There is a simple checkbox called development mode. If I check that, it will be shown for the users. This option I am only enabling only to the developers and system administrators of the company, so that they can directly change the code very instantly and do the requirements really fast. Okay, and coming down to this page, see, I'm using a logo. I'm directly querying the static resource file. This is a global data, right? I can directly use the data with the dollar symbol, the resource file in the static resources. Syntony underscore underscore syntony underscore logo is the file name. This is the name prefix for that application. I'm getting the logo by querying with the name prefix and also the logo name. This is the actual name. This is the name prefix of that application. Okay, and I'm using apex form because I'm using some of the output labels to print the data on the screen, right? The output labels. I already showed you when I'm converting this without render as PDF. You have seen some of the data on the screen with output labels, right? You are not going to edit the data. It's an output label. You can't modify the data. You can only view the data. That's the reason I'm using that labels here in the requirement when I'm trying to show the data in the PDF format. Okay. So this is the logo which I'm dynamically printing at the center of the page, starting of the page. Later on, see, the Apex messages are shown here. Anyway, there is no messages here because it's already saved page. It won't show any pages, error messages. I can even remove this. It's just generally required for using this in the input taking pages. Like if a page is accepting input parameters to save the record of the account or contact or any object, I'm going to use this Apex message tag to show the validation errors or error messages on the screen, but not in the output pages. Still, I can show some message here, custom messages like, hey, please note this page is something like that. This page, this account is a big customer. I can show some messages like that, but it's not useful in this current scenario. It's also shown in the center. And again, center tag is helpful to print the data in the center of the page. This is a HTML tag. And here starts the page block, dynamically puts the uh, size of the text. And see, I haven't defined the size of my account input page. This is the page block title. It obviously prints in a very big format because I'm using the page block section. If I'm not using this, if I'm not using page block, I cannot use the page block buttons also, page block section also. Okay, again, save button is not required in this current scenario because it's output page, because I am trying to only show the output data, not the input, not taking the input from the customer. It's not required. Even the button also not required. This requirement, yes, I can remove the page block buttons also by clicking on this. Now I'm only showing the page block section inside page block with my content section. That's what it's showing here. This is some smaller text than the page block title, and it has only one column. If I'm using two columns, what happens? You can print the data one by one after the other, left, right, like that. See, left, right, left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Collapsible is true, and it won't work in the PDF format. You can collapse and like that, but in the general page, you can collapse and show this content. Okay. Here's the output fields what you are using. Okay. The account name, account site, account type, account phone, account number of contacts, and active equal to true. Okay. The same fields I'm using in the quick edit page also. These are important information which I want to print. Okay. And also I am trying to closing the page block section, page block, and form tag page. This is a very simple page with this. The only special thing in this page is render as PDF. That's what this with this simple attribute you are showing a PDF format. In general technologies, it's really takes some more time to create this type of requirements. But in Salesforce, this requirement will take not more than 30 minutes to build this page. If you have really good idea about good command on the VF tags, that's it. You can build this requirement very quickly. It obviously the browser have the settings to print the page, to download the page, all these options are there. So if I'm clicking on this, I'm downloading this page in my system. Save file in my system. If I want to download a account report or account page, I can use this page and I can show this directly. Okay, these options you are not building on your own. The system browser, the browser will show that page. If I'm showing a PDF format, obviously these options will be shown on the browser. Okay. Uh, that's it, guys. And any questions on this page? Any questions? And in next class, I will try some of the new requirements by writing a custom code. Okay. I'll think of some scenario before joining the class. Okay. And yeah, this code, I don't need to send this code to you guys. If you know the page name, account info underscore PDF, yes, you have access to this organization with study salesforce1 at gmail.com is the username. Salesforce1 is the password for your Salesforce account. You're going to log into the same application. I have 20 licenses for this organization. To the same org, you are going to log in. So you have a lot of documentation about Viva also. See, I want to share you some more thing. If you click on, as you have access to this organization, that is my this is for training org. I use for a lot of sharing the content also. If I click on charter, if you click on files, there is a lot of files where you can't even find outside also. There is a Viva documentation, there is a Viva developer guide, Viva mobile, IREP configuration, all that stuff. If you click on files, there are a lot of files you can download it. See, these are all files, Apex VF examples, PDF format, which you can try on your own, and assignment workbooks for Apex VF pages and integrations, SFDC dumps for developer 401. You know, and I have a question. Have you guys certified? If not, I think Sridhar is not certified, right? I want you to prepare certification and take the test in the next week. Okay. So it takes around like 2 to 3 days strong preparation. I can share you some link where you can see get the questions from the same link. Okay. Use that. Force.com workbook, formula fields, cheat sheet, and module 20 of Viva. Viva is a pharma application, a very famous application used by a lot of companies. 120 customers of pharma companies using that application. There are a lot of jobs on that also. I want you guys to add that Viva also in your Salesforce resume for any pharma customer. I want you guys to put any pharma customer in your project because most there are many companies, pharma companies who are using Salesforce. You might have get some opportunity to work with that companies if you add that thing also. Shankar, keep a note of it and add you about Viva also in your resume. If you want some roles and responsibilities on that, I can provide that to you, and I can also share you some documentation about the Viva CRM. Okay, and API cheat sheets, how to use the REST API, Charter API, SOAP API, Analytics API, Apex developer cheat sheet. That's fine, but APIs is really important. You can keep it whenever you're trying to explore that type of that related stuff. Okay, API documentations. There are a lot of documentations and there are a lot of data models also. If you want to build your own requirements, see, I have a data models in my system where you can use this requirement to build a new application for vehicle parts manufacturing company. You can use this data model. Okay, and there are a lot of documentation I will still upload in this tool. And if you want to access the pages which I'm developing in the classes, yes, you can go to setup. You have access to this organization now. Go to develop and access the pages what I'm talking about, the classes, and even a lot more examples which I'm not explaining in classes. You can go to pages and classes and you can see that. Because you are system admin now for this org, I don't want you guys to modify that. Just please look into that and copy to your systems or to your notepad files or wordpad files. Okay, but 30% of this code is not really good. As I gave access to a lot of developers like you in the previous classes, I didn't keep any limits for them. They can also modify the code. They have modified the code and they have been changing back the code to the original code. That is the reason some code is bad. Neglect the code and use the code which is working. Okay. Developer. I was talking about the Salesforce certification exam. I think Shankar already created the Salesforce certification. Sridhar, is trying to take the certification. Okay, and Arju, you can also try the Salesforce Developer 401 because it's a very basic certification. You can prepare for 10 hours and you can clear that exam. That's the only easy exam in Salesforce. By knowing the very basic configuration and studying some questions from internet and dumps, you can clear that. The other exams are not that easy. You have to at least work for 2 to 3 years to clear the certification, other exams. Okay, otherwise you cannot clear that. Even though if you have dumps, you cannot, because they will change a lot of questions in there. And I want you guys to download this also, the workbooks, VF workbook, Visual Force, developer guide, and workbook, and try the things in your developer free app. That workbooks and developer guides have step-by-step lines of code. You can try that. It has some scenarios, okay, very basic scenarios how to create some very basic pages. So you can try that whenever you're free. Okay, yeah, and I will share you the link for Arju and Sridhar, the link which I'm talking about. And that my participants are saying that questions are coming from the same link. Okay, I'll share that. You can try that certification. It costs $200, and you have to register in webmaster.com #Salesforce. Okay, you have to take the online proctor exam. Also, you can take the exam from home, but it's really tough. You can take the exam from Prometric Center also, which is available in many locations in US and across the globe. It costs $200 for taking the developer certification, and your employer might pay for that. Check with your employer if they are ready to pay. Otherwise, you can pay on your card. Okay. Thanks, guys. Any questions? I'm closing the call now. Bye, guys.